Welcome to the Wizards of Ecom, your no-fluff playbook for online success. Each episode is fully packed with actionable tactics you can implement in your business right now. Take your life to a higher level and excel in your online success. It's time to work on you and your business. Let's do this.
Hi, welcome back to Wizards of Ecom. My name is Noemi, and I'm going to be your host for today. We have a super special guest and friend as well, Aleksejs. Would you mind presenting yourself shortly?
Hey, how are you? Well, my name is Aleksejs, like you mentioned. I've been selling on Amazon for past 8 years, full time. My main category is supplements. I do wholesale, private label, and some arbitrage as well. I have about 15 Amazon stores. I have 5 eBay stores. I have 2 distribution companies, one in Colombia, one in Mexico. I'm launching 2 new brands this year. I sold successfully 3 companies. One of them is like a private label supplements, and the other 2 businesses that are just physical business. What else? I wrote a few books about how to sell on Amazon, and another one how to sell on Mercado Libre, which is another marketplace that I'm selling on, which is in Mexico and Colombia that I mentioned. And yeah, that's me. And I'm also hosting the Wizards of Amazon Spanish group.
True. And
lovely. And I love to contribute to the any sellers, anything that need to be talk about e-commerce. You know, I love helping people.
Yeah. So, and if it wasn't enough, that introduction with the I have 50 all that. Then let's get right into it, right? We spoke about a little bit about the things that I want to ask you. Most importantly, 2020, right? It was a year that no one could have foreseen it or prepared for it.
Yes.
My question for you is, what are your 3 top takeaways or 3 things that you learned last year that help you become better at your craft and also on a personal level?
Okay, so number 1, I find out that I'm in the right business. What I mean by that everything went to online and everybody started shopping online. My sales tripled, quadrupled, whatever you want to put the number on, but they all skyrocketed. And not only on Amazon, but also on eBay. And so that's my biggest takeout. So I am in the right business. There's a lot of people that are struggling, have been struggling because they are in a different industry. So yes, that's a number 1. On a personal level, I found out that the way you live presently, okay. Again, because I've been traveling a lot back and forth, but the way your house or your relationship with your inner circle, the way it's more like I felt it much more. Like I start appreciating what I have, much more, because when you like in the lockdown, you basically 24/7 in what you really live, your house, your car that you drive, your family that you are around, your wife that is, your kids. So being in a lockdown 24/7, you start appreciating more exactly what you have. And if you don't have anything to appreciate, it's really bad, or whatever it needs to be changed, what is around you 24/7, you can change it and to make a better life. And that's it. Your life is where you are right now. It's not where you're traveling or what you're doing in a short period of time, but your house, your people that are around you 24/7. That's what your life. And if it's not good, it's really bad. But if it is good, which is in my case, and I really loved it, I start appreciating more.
Awesome.
That's on my personal level.
Awesome. This sounds amazing. So as I was saying, you're super successful, right? You are doing this many, it's a lot, right? And you're very, very ambitious. My question is you were mentioning also that you're in the supplements brand as well, or you have like your main category is supplements.
Right.
What would you suggest someone who wants to start in that category, or maybe for yourself 5 years ago when you started on Amazon selling in this category? What are the things that you learned and you could imply now, or advice? What's your advice, basically?
Okay, you wanna strictly talk about e-commerce, or you wanna just in journey as a business? Because it's two different strategies and two different outcomes that I got from having my own brand supplements.
What do you consider is the most important for you to know, or for
Okay,
someone
so
else?
as a brand, again, my biggest mistake, I would say, or challenge, or that I faced in my supplement company, it was because it was 5 business partners, too much business partners. I think and they're not being lined up with the same thought. I would say it wasn't common. We didn't have a common vision for the company.
May I
That's
ask
a biggest mistake.
a follow-up? How did you end up with so many business partners? Why?
Okay, so that company was created by one of my business partners. Okay, and he created that company because for his retail stores. Okay, and he wanna put that company internationally, online, and different channels of sales. Okay, or just expand the company. By that, he brought me to the business.
Mm-hmm.
He brought another my business partner, and then 2 of his friends as well. So, and in the beginning, it was all fun. A lot of people brought their own expertise or skills, but again, it was very hard to take a decision or to make a decision. It was very hard to have a common vision for the company. And, when you have so many business partners, again, and everyone are very skilled. One of them is a lawyer. The other one is a business expert. The other one is me as an online expert. It is good. It was a good skill set, but it was too many. It was too many opinions, too many ways of thinking to do the business the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest mistake that it was made, to have so many business partners. Nowadays, if I have more than me and the other guy, I'm not doing the business, because that's the way I'm structuring it. I mean, there is exceptions, of course, but I want to make sure if I have more than 2 business partners, is because they have, maybe we line up the vision before we start the company.
Got it.
And there's have to be a common vision for the company.
What are you exactly, that's amazing, common vision for the company. What are you looking for in the business partners that you're choosing and you're saying, yeah, this is the guy, this is the girl that I'm going to do business with?
We have to have a common vision as far as exit strategy. There have to be a common vision. We have to have priorities, where we want to sell, what market we want to tackle, and what channel we want to sell and expand. We cannot do everything at the same time. We try to do too many channels at the same time, internationally, Mercado Libre, Amazon, domestic, and you cannot do that if you don't have, I would say, enough funds to be able to tackle all those markets. You need to focus yourself on one channel first, expand, grow. I mean, we did grow. I'm not saying our biggest issue was always inventory, because we were selling too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But to give you an example, let's say I'm the one who managing an online Amazon store, another guy managing South America market, and the other guy domestic, and we have 10,000 units, and we sold all of them, and now everybody asking for more units, and you don't have it because you have it in production. Then when the inventory comes, who's gonna get first the inventory? Me, because I'm on Amazon, or the other 2 because they're also getting the market share? They want to fulfill their customers. So that's the biggest debate. And in the beginning, when you start the company, again, in experience, now we have to determine what we're going to tackle first. what we're going to prioritize.
Based on your knowledge at this point, what would be the first marketplace and why?
Amazon is very strict, about the inventory levels.
Yes.
So
especially for
if
new.
I would, me as a business partner, and I'm coming to the company, I have to prioritize Amazon. If not, I'm not going to get into the business, because that's what I do. This is 100% me. If we already maximize our Amazon, and then we want to bring in international sales, I'm totally okay. It's additional sales, and we already maximized that channel. So let's bring other channels to grow the company even more. And I'm not saying to be not present and maybe in the Shopify store or do some sales domestically. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we just need to we need to prioritize what is first.
Correct.
So,
and based on that, you would still say Amazon is still the best marketplace to start in.
I mean, all the markets are great. I'm the Amazon guy. I'm gonna say Amazon, but all the markets, international sale can be amazing, because you got Middle East that buy containers. You got South America. Some markets can buy containers of your product. I mean, all markets have potentials, great potentials. But again, I'm an Amazon guy. I want Amazon first, So we end up selling the company. It was a good exit. It wasn't as we would like to, but we end up all good, keep friendship. And we exit the company. We sold it before it gets more complicated,
That's perfect. This was my next question, by the way. Okay, and how did you prepare for it somehow? Because you were saying that you still remained friends, it's still friendship there, but you sold together. How did you maximize to actually sell the company at the price that you sold?
Well, we just determined the price of the value of the company. You cannot sell the company that is not worth it. I mean, there is crazy scenarios, but we got a broker, we evaluate the company, we sold the company what it's worth, and we all were agreeing in to do it. I mean, the whole purpose of the company was always to sell the company. We know. I mean, and this is always my not debate, but I mean, there is cases, but for me to get into the private label company or brand company, I know I'm not going to make money throughout the process of building the brand. My vision always for the company is to sell the company and exit. This is how I see the private label. I don't see private label to be my monthly income or my income in general. I don't see it. I can't. And again, there's people doing it. A lot of people making money on it, but I don't see I cannot position myself or create a formula with my knowledge to make money on the private label. I think private label is for building the brand and exit the brand. Because if you're doing, I mean, you can do it. I can get a one product to product, start making profit and take out the profit to me. I can do that. But then you just killing the growth of your company. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the brands itself, it's you can have big potential to grow. You get an additional SKU. I don't know if you probably heard Carlos how many times says, I mean, the brand, when you build the brand, it can go up to 40 different SKUs. You imagine 40 different SKUs, how much money it takes to build that. I mean, our brand we had 22 SKUs, 22 different SKUs. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of money, a lot of energy and it's not only, again, it's a design, it's a production, it's a inventory forecast. It's a lot of things that it takes, and the money that you need to have just to keep building the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have only one product, and the second product is like going to be launching within the next 2 months. And as you are saying, like it takes a lot of money, and you're still like, we're not taking out any money of the business. So if we touch on this point, my question is like, because like I as many was sold on a course, or yes, you can do it. I did it. You can do it as well. This is how it works. But no one really sold you on the idea that, hey, it's no money to be made, or you probably for the first year you won't take out anything for yourself, So what would your advice be to someone who is barely starting and probably had no idea about this should be the way how to play it, like exit would be the way how to play it to make
My
money?
advice, like, it's always the same. What do you want to do? What is your vision for Amazon business? How you want to you need and want make money now, you get into arbitrage and wholesale. You want to build a brand, private label, because you don't need the money now. That's something on the side. Then you build the brand and you do the private label. That's been always my advice. Now you need the money now. You want to make money now. You flip the products. I love that part of the business. I love flipping products. I buy and sell. I really enjoy that. I enjoy doing the private label. I know how to make the brand. I know what is needs to be done to grow the brand, and all the aspects for Amazon, how to grow the brand. And I enjoy it, but it's a different enjoyment. I love flipping. I love buying and selling. I mean, it's not always been perfect, but it's becoming more and more of my main model. I love it. And then with that money that I make, flipping the product, and the side, I'm always have one or two brands building up and preparing for the exit.
Yeah, got it. I'm the totally opposite. I love private label and I love branding, and I excel at that. And when you want to make like money, like on the side, like we were now looking into passive income, how to like produce one more extra stream of income. We were looking into Etsy, print on demand, and everything. It's like, yeah, that's cool too. Or retail arbitrage for me is like, oh, how do you do it? But on a personal level, I was doing this my whole life because I was looking for bargains, buy it as cheap as possible, and so on. So I think it's the same mindset. It's just like you're not really thinking of it as its business model, right? You're thinking for yourself. So yeah, it's amazing that you were saying that. Alex, which good habits or skill sets you adopted the past few months, and why?
In my few habits that I adopted.
Wait. Besides your gym, like each morning, like 6:00, and he's like, look at my gym, but he's not taking selfies of himself. He's taking selfies. No, only the gym, which is good. Okay.
So, but in the last few months, you're saying?
Yes. Like important things that improved your life or have you become a better person that you haven't thought of beforehand.
The thing is, I adapt a lot of new habits, but it's been already for almost 2 years. I don't
go for it.
Can I tell those? So one, I'm not drinking.
Great.
So it's a good habit to have, or eliminate the bad habit, whatever you want to put. I'm not drinking. I'm not partying. I'm not smoking. I used to smoke as well, smoke a cigarette. I'm not doing none of those. Those are phenomenal habits to adapt, because you cannot compare to a person that been drinking the whole weekend, and a Monday when you need to crush it, you cannot compare your way of thinking, the sharpness that you have. It's just priceless. So that's for me a number one.
Got it. Yeah, I was like just finish because I have like follow-up questions there. It's like, for example, what made you say, okay, no more, and what made you say it exactly then? What was the trigger?
I was drinking my whole 20s and partying. I did good. I really explored to all the levels that need to be explored. And I could keep going like that because, again, I was making money and I have everything to keep partying. I could do it. But the thing is, I I was getting to so many things at the same time, like as far as business and personal growth and family. I have 2 kids. It's very hard to be able to give you all, or at least to be on the conscious level all the time, and also partying and drinking. You can't do it. I mean, whoever tell me they can have a best of both worlds, they're lying. You just
Teach me how. Teach me how.
Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, I know a lot of people that it is impossible. It's just impossible. You can have a balance. It's good to have a balance. And one day maybe you can just go out and have a drink. But I'm not that guy. I cannot just go and have one drink. You know, it's why would I just have one drink? It tastes horrible. It doesn't give you anything. So to get drunk, that's another thing. You change your state. You know, so that's what then I'm not gonna have none of the drinks. That's it. So that's a number one. Number two, of course, gym. I'm exercising. It's big part of my life, and I think it also gives you a lot of energy that normal person that do not exercise cannot have that energy. You know, my back hurts when I'm not exercising for 2 months. Just simple as that, you know, and the rest, the energy that gives you, it's just priceless. So those two, and I can go on. I mean, I have a lot of good habits that I adopt for past, again, 2 years. Reading, that's another one, very important one. It gives you ideas and expand your thinking beyond just your thoughts, you know.
What would you read usually?
I usually read a lot of self-development books. I love those, you know, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, those type of books. I love them. I don't know, they give me some sort of a motivation. I don't know. It really stimulates my thinking, you know, and I think it gives me a power of thinking that everything is possible, you know, and whatever I am or whatever I want, I'm always can accomplish. Believe it or not, writing, I have a journal that I've been writing all my goals since like 2000. I have to go back and see 12, I think. And I have a lot of things that I wanted, and I'm always adjusting them. But if you go back to the year when I started to today's, a lot of them being accomplished, you know. So
it's amazing. A follow-up here to journaling, because most people are journaling and they are just putting their thoughts on paper. Basically, sometimes it can be just rambling and just like, you know, nonsense. It's not really helpful. It's just like you're going to throw everything out what's in your mind, basically. So how are you doing about, because you were saying that you actually have goals, and how would you set them, or how would you go for it, or how would you make it happen actually, like become true?
So what I do is usually before or right after the end of the year, I write what I want for the coming year. Okay. It can be, again, sometimes I'm doing at the end of the year, sometimes I'm doing it right in the beginning before you start, you know, the new year. Now, I'm not just doing that once a year and that's it. Once I'm done, I have it I don't have the journal now, but in the back I put
proof. Show us proof. No one believes you anymore.
The journal that I'm.
It's fine. I was making a joke. Go on.
the journal that is the one that I'm writing throughout the weeks, throughout the months, just work stuff. In the back, I have the goals for the year, so I'm always review them at least once a month, just to keep myself in check, see what I want and what is my goals. And if it's being accomplished, I circle it and I put it got it, you know. So that's my way of doing it. And if the journal being finished, because sometimes throughout the year I'm writing a lot of things, so I get to the next one and I rewrite to the next one, to a new one, to make sure it stays in my journal, the everyday journal.
Got it. Do you have like plans, specific plans as well, or they are just goals?
I did I host the Wizard of Amazon for Spanish group the other day, and was the planning. Oh my, the goals, how to plan the goals, and the way I besides just writing them, I ask people how you can achieve them but enjoying the process. So because when you just put a goal and I don't know, to give an example, I want to make $1 million, just a number. You throw the number there, so that's it. I want to make $1 million. But nobody thinks through, how can I make that money enjoying the process? Because there's many ways to achieve the money, but it's many ways to enjoy the process. And once you find a way to enjoy the process, it becomes much easier to achieve, because you're enjoying the process. Or to give you another example, let's say I want to sell 100 new products. Okay. So what would be the way to find 100 new products that you enjoy the process? Me doing it myself, looking for the products, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I'm not going to like that. It's going to be painful.
Yeah.
Now, if I find a process to do it that I enjoy, like for example, again, COVID it's a special case, because it's not the normal. But before the previous year, I was enjoying traveling and going to different events in different countries and meeting people. And that's how I was be able to find new products to sell. And it's an amazing way to find new products. At least in my case, somebody maybe just don't like traveling. They don't want to do that way. They want to maybe hire a VA. They want to delegate that project. And they're going to enjoy it this way because everything's going to be already digest for them. And they just have to pick the product. There's different ways to do it. But again, your goals, whatever you write, you should find a way to achieve that goal, enjoying the process. Once you do that, it's becoming a game. It's just becoming enjoyable life, getting those goals achieved,
Yeah, I love that you said that, because most of the time what I see also, like, most people are very frustrated because one, that they don't achieve what they planned to achieve. And the second one is like, it's hard work. And most of the time what I see, it's like, for most people that consider this a hard work, it will be exhausting. When for you, as you consider it as a game, you were saying having fun, it's like you just leave them behind, like, because you are like, you're just playing around, and by playing you're like achieving your goals as well. So I really like that one.
Yes, exactly. And again, it's so many, you can implement that in so many ways. Sometimes I get myself caught up on doing something that I'm not enjoying at the moment, trying to achieving something. It's like, hold on. And I step back and I try to rethink. That's one of the things, because everything is in your head. Rethink, how can I do the same thing, but just enjoying the process? Because if I'm going to keep doing it, I'm going to be suffering and I don't want to do it. So
how often or when do you notice that? Because I also noticed a few days ago, I went just totally depressed, and I understood that my problem was that I didn't get enough sleep. So, and it's like, you wouldn't thought about it, because sports, I was working out and everything went great, and I was like, what's wrong with me, and it was sleep, and didn't even thought about it. And afterwards, after a short analysis, it was like, oh, I'm not sleeping enough, So for you here, when do you realize that something is not going as supposed to go and you're not having fun? And how do you put yourself in the mindset, hey, what's going on? And this is what I should do.
It's easy to catch sometimes because you're just not enjoying the process. You're not enjoying what you're doing at the moment, and if you feel you're not enjoying it, you have to catch yourself, but you're not, when you're doing something that you enjoy, you don't even think about it, but at the moment you're doing something that you're not enjoying, you're kind of suffering and you're having a hard time, you're having a hard time. Let's just step back. Yes, let's step back and see what the hell is going on, why I'm not enjoying this process. Sometimes you have to do things. It's not a perfect world, Sometimes you have to do things that you're not enjoying, and you have to go through them and like me sitting down with the accountant. I hate that part, but I have to do it. And I'm trying to find a way to enjoy it. I'm trying to find a way to delegate and create a process so I don't have to at least shorten the moment that I need to do it. That part that I need to do in my business, trying to minimize it. Okay. But again, you still have to do it. But if you try to find a process that it can be a little bit more enjoyable, it's always better.
Got it. By the way, I just cut you off because you had the books. You were talking about books, then you were saying that you're journaling. Anything else that is there that it makes you become better? Maybe it doesn't have to be top skills, but something that it's improving you way, way, way better that you have, I don't know, something that you found out recently that's helping you.
Well, another thing that I found out that it's been fulfillable and amazing, it's with our Amazon group. No, honestly, it's been for me. I'm with my business partner, I think like almost 8 years doing business together. And again, I read a lot about contributing and helping and helping others. And that's how you're going to get fulfilled in life. And that's how you're going to get whatever you give, you're going to get tenfold back. I mean, again, you don't have to do it with that purpose, but it's just universe. That's how it works. So, but I couldn't find a way because donating money, I'm still donating, but it wasn't fulfilling. It was just debit on my credit card, and it wasn't fulfilled at all. I mean, I am donating. You can consider me a person that is helping others donating money, but it wasn't fulfilling. It was just transaction, And then when I found a group and Carlos gave me an opportunity to basically, share my knowledge.
How did that happen, by the way?
One of my purchase director that was making purchase at the moment told me about the group that she was, because I was in Amazon. She was in the Amazon business. Like, oh, why don't you go to this group? They hosting events for Amazon people. It's like, okay, let me take a look. And I took a look and I loved it. I went there, I met Carlos, knowledgeable people, many people at the same time. At that moment, before that, I didn't know any sellers, Amazon sellers.
Right.
Or maybe like few, but distantly,
Yeah.
So it was a very lonely journey, So, and then again, we click right away. I love the vibe. I love the people. They were talking about traveling to China. It was crazy to go to China. There's so many things click at the same time. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing,
Yeah.
And then Carlos found out that, I'm a little bit experienced in Amazon, and I started answering to some people, start hosting. I host a few times the event. And it was just flowing by itself. And then I started hosting a Spanish group. Again, Spanish is not my first language, but I got that opportunity and I didn't want to let it go, So, and it's being fulfilling. You don't know how good it feels when somebody asks a question and you know the answer and you're trying to really guide them. And you know how to do it, and you really explain it to them how to do it to try to help them out, like with no expectancy with no expecting anything back. It's just helping, and it's fulfilling. It's amazing. I love it. It's becoming part of my life, and
I do.
So
definitely.
Yeah, that's indeed my one of the things that it's been in my life for past few years, and it's been amazing.
That's amazing. I love how you said it, especially like for me as well. I think because it's active, it's being like grateful in an active way. It's not only that you're just giving money, but it's like, hey, I'm there. It's me there. It's my time. It's my life there. It's not like,
Exactly.
which is like makes it even more powerful. Alex, you were talking about reading.
Talking about what?
Reading and books.
Okay.
What's your favorite book? It can be a lot of them. And why?
how you want a one favorite book or like one?
No, this
Many?
is Carlos's question. What's your book? At least one. He's going to buy them, by the way, Carlos. Go on.
So I have few books, but a number one that changed my life when I was like 18 I think, is Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's just, again, it's a very basic book, but it helped me a lot in changing way of thinking. I mean, I had my mind as an entrepreneur since I was like 5 years old, I think, or maybe more, like 7. I was selling flowers in the corner.
Amazing.
In Russia. So,
even more. Good.
Yes, I always like that part of buying and selling. It was part of my life, part of my DNA. But that book was talking about a lot of passive income. Build your net worth, or try to build passive incomes. And I, through a long time, I wasn't be able to do as much for that. It was mostly active income, active businesses, and I still have active business, but I'm gradually building my passive incomes. And it was always in me because of that book. And I love the way Rich Dad was telling to the kid that you can have whatever you want. You just need to find a way, something that pays them. It's not that, because a lot of people say, okay, I don't want to drive expensive car, or you cannot drive expensive car because you're always going to be broke, blah, blah, blah. But then if I have income that covers that expensive car, why not?
Yeah. Correct.
Correct. So that's part of the book. So there was a rich guy and there was a rich dad and poor dad. So the rich dad was always saying, expand your passive income, build your passive income. Everything is achievable. You can have anything you want. Just make sure that covers the take risks, get into businesses and blah, blah, blah. The poor dad, but then they switched. I mean, they used to be poor, the one that is rich later, and then the rich that became poor later, and the other one that was rich at the moment was all about safe job, secure job, don't take risk, don't do anything that you don't buy expensive things, don't drive expensive car, don't do anything like that, because it's bad for you. There was no totally different two mentalities, Yep. And it was very clear and explained in the book, and I loved it. That was always within me after I read that book. And then the other book that I also always recommend that helped me to build, also not only know that you need to have a passive income, but also that book helped me to understand the money, how to make money work for you. Which is by Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. Okay. So those are two books that I definitely recommend. It's mostly personal growth, but then if you want to get deep into the business book that helped me a lot to grow my business, it's Virtual Freedom. That was recommended by Carlos a few years ago. I love that book. It helps me to build virtual team. And the other one that was read last year that really helped me to growing even better my business, or to be more efficient in my business, is The One Thing. Mm-hmm. It talks about the one thing, that you have to do or you should do in your business that really grow your business. It even can be applied in any other aspect of your life. But in our industry, like Amazon sellers, let's say, there's so many aspects and so many things that you need to do that is just impossible to do all of them, or try to divide yourself. In the beginning, maybe, because you're just starting. But once your company grows, everything that you do becomes a department of things, and you need to build the team. So you need to find a thing that you're going to do, which is a one thing that really grows your business.
What is your one thing, Alex?
my thing, focus on what to buy. That's for the wholesale part, you know. Always look for new products to buy. That's my number one thing, you know. In a wholesale market, you know. And in a private label, it's also more focused on how to sell, how to scale the sales, just how to rank the product. That's a number one.
Yeah, how to do a ranking that sticks as well, right?
Exactly.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that, for sharing. The whole time when you were talking about Rich Dad Poor Dad, in my mind, it was like, how can you afford it? How can you make it to afford it? How can you make it to afford it? Because I'm also like coming from a very like modest family, you know, and it was all the time like, we cannot afford that, you know, but like passive income or active income, that was like, there's no such thing. It's just a job, you know?
Exactly.
So everything what you were saying also with me resonated a lot, because that's like, it's totally a mindset shift, you know. Otherwise, you know, there's no difference. There is like, you're waking up in the morning, you go to bed, and you're hoping when you are going to get a vacation, which is like, unfortunately, 90% of the population is still living by that, you know.
Yes, and it's I mean, I don't have anything against it, but I would be miserable if I have to just do that, you know, just 9 to 5 job. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to feel happy, I would say, because what I do nowadays, or the business that I run, or the things that I'm doing, I'm just love to do it. I really enjoy it.
Correct.
And again, I used to work 9 to 5. Well, not 9 to 5. My job was like from 6 p.m. to like 3 a.m. I was a bartender.
Ooh, we're finding out new things about you. Okay, go on.
Yes, I was a bartender in my college time.
Neat. I was babysitting, so.
I think it's a great job for college students.
Yeah.
You got free alcohol.
That you're not drinking anymore.
Yeah, right now I don't care about the job, but in the college time, when I was in my 20s, it was a perfect job.
Yeah, got it. Alex, how can people get in touch with you in case that they have questions, or I don't know, if you want to be available?
If you can spell my name, you can find me everywhere. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Google. You just need to know how to spell my name.
And how do people spell your name?
It's Aleksejs. If you put that, and then last name is Leal. But if you just put that name everywhere, anywhere, most likely me is gonna be the only one with that name. So yeah, that's the easiest way to find. And Instagram, the best way to just reach me through Instagram, you can DM me. And
he's very active, and he has a lot of followers.
Yes, and somebody helped me a lot.
Oh, who? I don't know who.
You helped me a lot with it.
Yeah. Well, it was my pleasure. And thank you so much for being in the podcast. I was like a bit like, who should I invite first? And it was like, yay, Aleksejs. That would be the best.
I'm enjoying talking with you always. You have a great questions. And anytime you need more content, I'm here to help. I'm always open to, again, for giving away information and helping provide information.
Awesome.
On e-commerce, on any personal branding.
We'll count on it. Alex, the last one actually. Who do you think it would be a best fit for our podcast, the Wizards of Ecom podcast, that you would recommend to invite maybe next?
You want to talk to Gabe? Gabe would be a great guy.
We definitely could. Awesome.
Good?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Did you like it? Did you like our recommendation?
No, it's like, I hope that is someone that is not already on the list, because Gabe is already on the list.
That is not on the list. The good can be, you can talk to Amazon lead guy, Eric Castellano, or Scott. That is his software, new software that I'm using that I really like is Smart Scout. Mm-hmm. And you can DM them through Instagram. They're gonna be probably open to, because again, They went to Wizard of Amazon event a few times. One of them. Scott went to even Spanish one. He doesn't speak well Spanish, but he tried and he gave a presentation of his software. Those two guys are very experienced sellers. They are in 9 figures.
Got it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think officially we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
Thank you so much for being.
It was fun sharing
podcast.
this episode with you. If you found value in what you've heard, please show your love with a subscribe, rate, and review of the show. Until next time.